Hello everyone, it's Jennifer McGuire, and today I am very excited to be a guest for Ellen Hudson's Hello Monday. I have 3 cards for you that are all encouragement cards. I'm finding that breast cancer is unfortunately touching our lives in too many terrible ways, and so I wanted to create 3 cards of encouragement in pink. And I'm going to also show you how to take 2 dies and use them in 3 ways. So I'm going to hurry through this so I can squeeze them all into this video, and I'm starting with raised die cuts, and that's what I did for this card here. If you look closely, the little raindrops and the umbrella are raised die cuts, and this is really fun to do. One of the dies I'm using is this fun rain die from Memory Box, and I'm going to use some craft board. This is a product from Ellen Hudson, and it's a little bit thicker than cardstock but thinner than most chipboard, so it's perfect for die cutting with delicate dies like this one. So I'm going to take this die and I'm going to put it up against one edge and use a piece of sticky tape from a post-it note along the edge just to hold it in place while I run it through my die cut machine. Any die cut machine will work. I want to cut it again, so I'm going to line it up with one line of the raindrops. The die will kind of pop right in place for those dies that have already been cut into this craft board, and then I'm going to run it through again. So I have a bigger background of raindrops, but I'm going to keep those little die cuts in there, and you'll see why in a minute. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing just with some regular white cardstock, or you could use typing paper for this. This is going to be our stencil. So now I have these 2 pieces done. I'm going to take the stencil, the regular cardstock, and lay it on top of the back of the craft board that we die cut the little raindrops from. Now I'm going to look from above and make sure that my raindrops line up with the craft board below it. So the raindrops line up on the 2 pieces, and I'm going to hold them together. Now I'm going to take some glue stick. The Ranger glue stick is by far my favorite. I'm going to take this and rub it across it. So basically that piece on the top is acting as a stencil so that I'm only getting glue on the back of the raindrops on that craft board piece. So this is just an easy and fun way to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move quickly because I don't want that glue stick to dry on me here. I'm going to scrape away some of the extra with some scrap paper there. Carefully peel this off, and now you see I have all those little raindrops on the crafter board have a little bit of sticky glue on the back. Now I'm going to put this onto some white cardstock that will end up being on my card. So I'm going to try to center those raindrops on there. I'll put this down and press onto it, and then I'm going to peel away the crafted board but leave the raindrops behind. And this is actually easier than it seems. I just use a craft knife to hold each raindrop down as I start to pull the rest of the board away. So this will leave the little raindrops on place on the cardstock, and that way I have little raised raindrops. This is just one of many ways to do it, but I find that it's the quickest. Now after you've done this, since it's glue stick takes a little time to dry, you can kind of move the raindrops around if they shift a bit and scrape away any extra paper that might be there. I'm just going to use a Copic marker, any marker would work, to add color to these to make them blue. This seemed like the quickest and easiest way to do this. Then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella glitter pen to add a little shimmer to it. It's so hard to see this in the video, but in real life, this shimmer really just makes these raised raindrops really pop. I just love the Wink of Stella pens. Next, it's time to make a raised die cut out of an umbrella, and we're going to make this like its own standalone embellishment. So I took a piece of craft board again, and I've covered it with some pink pattern paper from Studio Calico, and then the other half I've covered with some gray cardstock. I'm going to put this adorable umbrella die halfway across it so I can just die cut this all at once and get gray for the handle and pink for the top. I went ahead and cut another umbrella from craft board, and I'm going to glue these 2 together using glue stick again so I can make this even thicker. So you see how you end up with this great thick embellishment by easily cutting 2 pieces of the craft board and layering them together with some pattern paper on top. So now I'm going to start to put this card together. I wanted to do a perfect greeting on here. I think this is great to send to friends who are affected by breast cancer, who mothers are affected by breast cancer. Just something encouraging. So I'm just going to stamp this here on the bottom. It's from W+9. I just love that greeting. It's perfect to send to a friend. Now for the background, I'm using Nina Desert Storm craft cardstock. I love it. It's a nice soft craft. Then this great Impression Obsession thin stripes background. It can stamp either vertical or horizontal on a card. I love that. I'm using soft brown shadow ink from Hero Arts. Now this is going to be splotchy and look terrible at first. I'm warning you now when I peel this off, but as it dries, which you'll see in a little bit, it'll be beautiful. It just takes some time to dry and even out and soften. So I'll go ahead and glue this on here, and you'll see in the next bit here, you'll see that that ink has dried and it's become really nice. I'm going to go ahead and put some glossy accents, a thick layer onto my die cut here to make it look even more finished. I just really love all that layer and the shine and the thickness. Next, I noticed that I kind of boogered up my greeting here. You see that? It's got some little hairies on the black greeting. One of my favorite tricks is to go in with my white Uniball Signa pen and just cover up any little glitches you might have. This sure beats starting over on a card, and nobody will ever notice it. So there you have one technique with these two dies, is to do raised die cuts. Next, I wanted to show you how to do glitter-filled die cuts. This is taking the negative space of the die cuts and filling them with glitter, and I just love the results of this. It's nice and smooth, and the glitter just doesn't rub off and come off in the envelope, which is even better. So again, I have a piece of white cardstock here. This is a little smaller than 2 inches wide, and I'm just going to hold it the die right on top and use a little sticky note to run it through the die cut machine. Next, I'm going to do another row of raindrops on each side, so I'm flipping it over so I can line up one of the rows. This makes sure that they're evenly spaced, and then I'll do it on the other side too. You'll see me line them up and then run it through my die cut machine again, and that makes sure that all of your raindrops are evenly spaced. So this time I want to also die cut a negative space of the umbrella, so I'm going to hold it right down onto the same piece, put a little sticky note, and then run that through the die cut machine. Any die cut machine works with these thin dies. They're fabulous. Then I have this double-sided tape that I cut slightly smaller than the piece that we have here, the cardstock piece, and I'm going to put this on the back. So I'm going to take the release paper off. Keep that release paper, don't throw it away, it is gold. And you're just going to put this piece right down onto the sticky tape. So those negative areas of the die cut now are sticky. Now, from this release paper, I want to cut just an umbrella. So I'm going to take my die, and I'm going to cut this from the release paper, and you'll see why. I want to be able to block that umbrella so I can just get glitter on the raindrops only. So I'm going to stick this release paper right onto the umbrella, and because it's release paper, it'll peel right off in a moment. It's just there temporarily, so that I can go in with some glitter just on the raindrops. I decided to make the raindrops silver. I don't know why. Instead of a lighter color, I thought the silver would be fun. My favorite is the Glitter Ritz Stardust. This color is great. It's kind of like a vintagey silver, so it's not too in your face. It's a little more subtle. So I'm rubbing this glitter into those die cuts so the glitter is really kind of packed in there. Once you're done, you can go ahead and remove that release paper. Now we have the umbrella where I'm putting the cool highlights from Glitter Ritz. You could use warm highlights if you want to. This glitter is fantastic because you can color it. So I'm going to rub it in really good, and then I'm going to take my Copic marker and just bounce over it. I ended up starting with a light color here, but then I ended up going over it with RV17, which is a little bit darker, so I could have a pink umbrella, and I used a gray T5 to do the umbrella handle. If you just pounce it on the glitter, you won't damage the tip of your Copics, but you know, Copics are very strong. If you don't have Copics, you could use any kind of permanent marker. So I matted that onto pink, and I put it onto a striped gray card, that same stamp that I used earlier. And it just gives you a little bit of a different look, and I love that that glitter's just smooth and as part of the paper. So for the third technique, I'm going to do smooth die cutting. So this is a little bit like the glitter, but we're going to fill it with paper instead. I just love the look of the paper being kind of inlaid into the cardstock. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did on the last card. I cut the raindrops and the umbrella from some white cardstock, and I'm going to lay it onto some double-sided tape here. This time I don't need that release paper, but I'm going to keep it because I may use it for a future project. So I die cut an umbrella from some pink Studio Calico paper and also from some gray paper that I found in my scrap drawer. I'm going to cut the umbrella out and just put the pink in at the top, and then use the gray just for the handle and the tippy top of the umbrella. I love using scraps for this. It's just a fun way to give the card a little personality, is to use a touch of pattern paper. And I love how it looks like this is one continuous piece because the die cuts fit into the negative space of the cardstock. Now for the raindrops, this will take you a little bit of time, but it's not too bad. I cut some shimmery blue cardstock here, and I just touch my craft knife tip to the raindrop, and I carry it right over and fill it into the open raindrop on our cardstock. And you'd be surprised, this goes by pretty quickly. If you have one of the quick sticks tools that has like a little sticky end, this would be even faster. I couldn't find mine, so I'm just using a craft knife, and it didn't take too long at all. Now to smooth this out even more, I'm going to take it and put it in a note card or some folded cardstock and run it through my die cut machine, and that just smushes it. Smushes is that's a good word. Smushes it down and makes it one even piece, and I just love how that is just pushed into there. And then I colored my umbrella with Wink of Stella just for some shimmer. So there you have 3 cards using 2 different dies. Also, these cards are great for encouragement or a hug for a friend who may need it most. And for those of you affected by breast cancer, I'm sending you big hugs and prayers. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you again next time at ellenhudson.com.